So could you tell us who you are, what you've studied and what your current job is?
Okay, so I'm Anthony Lasenby. I'm what they call an emeritus professor from Cambridge, which means I've retired officially about a year and a half ago, but I've been keeping active in research since then, but basically still a member at Cambridge University.
And what made you want to continue doing this research?
Well, it's addictive. And still many things to sort out. So yeah, I'm glad to be able to carry on.
And what are your current researches about?
Most of what I do at the moment is connected with geometric algebra, which is the subject of this meeting at the moment. I'm particularly interested in physics aspects. I'm an astronomer, cosmologist, work in the physics department, and so I've always been interested in applications of geometric algebra to fundamental physical theories. And that's mainly what I was talking about today, the explanations within geometric algebra for some aspects of the fundamental forces of nature.
And have you always been interested in geometric algebra?
Well, since I first encountered it, which was, I think it was in 1988. So over that period, certainly, yes. But I have done other things as well during that period, but it's certainly been a main theme.
And what would your 10-year-old self think about what you're currently doing today?
I think it would be quite excited.
Oh, how come?
Yes. Well, I always knew I wanted to study relativity and astronomy. And I don't quite know how I knew about relativity when I was very young, but I was always asking people about it. And geometric algebra provides a wonderful way into looking at general relativity. So yeah, I think I'd be excited.
And how would you explain to someone who doesn't have the knowledge about geometric algebra what it exactly is?
I try and tell them that it's a new way of multiplying vectors, which gives you the ability to bring together various areas of mathematics that seemed disparate and different before, but it unifies them, and so you can do a lot more with just this single algebra, and so that's very efficient.
And going back to your researches, how long do you see yourself doing those researches for?
Well, probably until I can't do it anymore. I don't know when that'll be.
Hopefully as long as possible.
Yes.
And do you like teach certain people?
I was teaching until I retired. I've been doing cosmology courses for some years. Yeah, but I'm not required to teach at the moment. So I have more time available for getting on with research. But unfortunately, being retired, I can't take PhD students or other students. So that's a downside.
Yeah, and what did you do during that time? Like, what would you do with those students? Like, did you teach them separately or like in a...
Oh, well, undergraduates, I taught classes. And in Cambridge, we have these things, supervisions, which is one staff member and 2 students that I did for many years, and then had PhD students as well. So yes, all that side of things is basically gone now. And
how would you imagine you meet someone here or I don't know where who has doubts about like getting into geometric algebra? How would you convince them to start going into geometric algebra? I think I'd want to know what they're really interested in.
And I mean, geometric algebra is basically a tool which enables you to maybe get to areas that you wouldn't get to otherwise, but I think you have to want to explore those areas. And so I'd want to talk to them to find out what are they really interested in, and then geometric algebra could help in that. And it's not just technical, it does give you different ways of thinking about things.
So what do you mean with like so?
It can give you different views about things like quantum mechanics, for example. You get a different view about it because it seems to provide answers for things that in a more conventional approach they don't even ask questions about. So, as I say, it's beyond being just a tool, but I think, I was always interested in cosmology, relativity, quantum mechanics, and in all of those it's extremely useful. Now, of course, here, in things like computer graphics, motion capture, things of those kind, it's a wonderful tool as well. So it may not change your mindset as to the fundamental physics of nature, but it's still extremely efficient and productive. So I think I would have no hesitation in suggesting people study it and see how it is useful for them.
Can anybody start that study, or?
Yeah. I mean, I think it should be brought in at schools, actually.
Is that not the case, Greg?
No. I mean, schools for people before 18, say, yeah. I think it could be taught in maths classes in schools perfectly well.
Why do you think that's not the case right now? Is it too difficult, maybe? Or?
No. It's just these things take many, many years, decades, before they get fully accepted and permeate through to all areas. But I think it will happen eventually.
So anybody can actually start at any age, really?
Yeah, I think so. My son knew the multiplication tables for the basic elements in geometric algebra when he was about 3.
3, that's very young. But when you used to teach your students, like, what were like the percentages of them passing?
My teaching was mainly in cosmology and astrophysics. Mm-hmm. We did run a class specifically in geometric algebra for a while. Myself and Chris Duran, I think you may have spoken to him yesterday. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was quite popular, and people did fine in it. Yeah. Yeah.
So you think that's going to be popular for like a certain amount of years, or do you think that's going to like?
No, when Chris left the university, we were not able to carry on with it. So it's a bit of a lack now that even in university level, we don't have a course in it in Cambridge.